Okay, so the site that I was using said Libra's color palette was actually Libra had 3 colors, which were ivory, light blue, and pink, which I took as pastel colors, and had to Google what color ivory was, which is kind of like a light creamish color, kind of off-white, slightly yellow. That's kind of how it is. It's an off-white type of color. So my plan is, first of all, touch up the line art, because always a good idea to touch up the line art before you start coloring. I forgot to do that in some of the other recordings, and it is a pain to try and fix, but you sometimes have to fix them when you have to fix them. It is what it is. So the plan is to have, since ivory is a pretty neutral color, and pretty much has the same effect, almost the same effect as white, it's very close. Like I said, it's an off-white, so it's close to white, to a white light. When pink light and blue light mix together, it becomes purple, which makes a nice effect, and it's like a pastelish purple anyway, because I'm using pastel pink and pastel blues. So what I have is, I want the trays that they're holding to be, one of them to emanate blue light and the other one to emanate pink light, and then that will, and also and then the back, the actual symbol, that's probably the biggest light source, will be ivory, and that will be kind of the main, that's going to be the main light source of ivory. And then there's the trays for pink and blue, and I'm also thinking, I think I'm going to give them heterochromia, with one eye being pink and the other eye being blue. Now the question is if and then I can have like the lights mixing together, like towards the center, and it can be it can become like a slight purplish light, which I think will look cool. As well as, since their outfit has a lot of ridges and folds, like that's going to look interesting with secondary light sources, as so the symbol itself would be the primary light source, and then the trays would be the secondary light source, since they're the second largest bit of light, and then the eyes would be the third light source in this situation. As far as the colors that for their outfit, didn't have much of a plan, so knew I needed to use ivory somewhere other than just the symbol, since the symbol is just going to look like white. So I'm using ivory as like the color for the top. I'm considering giving like the inside of the sleeves a different color, but I'm not sure about that. Might do, might not. Kind of works either way. Trays, just trays, silver, and I'm making the sash purple, since, like I said, one tray is pink, the other tray is blue. Meet in the middle, you have purple. Considered yellow, considered red because red just kind of looks good. Yellow because it's like a pastel-y color, so that might have worked as well as like the headpiece has golds in it, so thought maybe that might have worked. Went with purple to stick with my theme. I'm also using the mirror tool to help me paint faster, and because it is mostly symmetrical, so I'm not going to end up accidentally coloring in something that I didn't mean to color in. So I have golds. I have like the headpiece itself has pinks and blues. I forgot the word for it, but it's like one pink, one one blue with a gold in between. That's what it is. Yeah. And then I'm adding in some silver and some gold for the dangling air bits, as well as I think I have one that's more of a bronzish color, just to have some differentiation. They have some sharp eyebrows. I did that on purpose since justice is supposed to be strict. I again considered giving them some lip gloss or something along those lines. Decided no, it was like bold lip colors are for some people, and I am not one of those people who can give that to, at least not this character. No. Maybe later. The stars are also like a off-white color, because I have to keep the ivory theme in somewhere, right? We're also going to completely ignore the fact that I accidentally pulled up Virgo's symbol for Libra instead. They are very close. I had them close to each other in my very systematic filing system on the computer. Shush. So, making sure the largest light source is already, well, its range is specified, and since the most of the symbol is actually at the top, so it's almost like the symbol is it almost makes them have like a halo, kinda. And also the other two light sources, major light sources, which are the trays, those already get there, like where the majority of the light is going to go. Now I'm going in with my colors and trying to just properly fill in and make the face look nice, look like a face instead of being very flat. In the line art, I ended up making the lips a bit thin in comparison to the other lines, so I started with those to try and make them stand out, make them have lips. It's a good thing to have. You kind of need those to live. The nose kind of falls into the same category of just blending in, because all of the line art, at least from afar, they blend in, so because of how all of the other line art is. Now what I'm doing different is instead of just taking a brush and going over where the eyes are with the color of glow I want, I'm actually adding in the effect of the glow before adding the glow effect on top of the eyes, because how the glow affects everything, the skin around it and the objects around it, makes a bigger difference than the actual glow effect. And the effect is there because they glow, but the effect is sold better because of how everything else interacts with it, if that makes sense. I'm also attempting to get the contrast right from the get-go with and also trying to remembering that I have all of everything set up. I considered switching which side has the pink and which side has the blue, one blue eye and one pink tray on the same side. Decided it kind of made it look a bit too cluttered, so didn't go with that. And they kind of have just a very subtle cleft to the chin, but that also kind of makes it convenient because the light from the trays hit there. as well as like the lips are very, I would say susceptible, but that's not the right word, but they're good at reflecting light, so they catch a bit of the light. And since they're trays and facing directly up, the hands actually don't really get that much light, as well as the light from the back is blocked by sleeves and their actual body, so it's just the hands don't really get that much light. And I forgot. Okay, I messed up with the hands the first time while doing the sketch. So when I did the line art, they weren't exactly symmetrical. So now I've ended up doing like the shading for the hands for one hand, and then I copied and pasted it for the other one. Again, going back in to try and make the contrast between the light and the shading for the face a bit more apparent and a bit stronger, as well as they kind of got a bit more of a softer expression while drawing them. I'm not sure how that happened, but I kind of like it because they don't necessarily, because here's the thing, they still look kind of strict, they still look stern, but it's not like in a malicious kind of way, you know? So, and that's like nice. You don't want like your symbol of justice to look malicious or intimidating. You just kind of want them to be a trusted figure who like could beat someone up if they needed to, you know? Now the sleeves, this is when I had to come to a decision of, are the sleeves a different color or are they just shaded versions of the same color? You can see how like it makes a difference, right? So I don't think I've come to a decision quite yet. I postponed said decision and decided to go to the head. So because they have a buzz cut, I had the layer for it on a different layer, so I had to go back and first darken it a tad bit, since during all of the shading process their skin tone got darker because they're backlit, and then had to lighten the edges because backlit. Yeah. And I'm using the tray because the tray is actually the color, so I'm using that to color pick whenever I lose the color I'm trying to get. And I'm just going into the headpiece and shading, mostly lighting to be fair, lighting with firstly lighting it with the closest light source, so doing the shading between each bead or chain or metal, those, and then going in with, so the blue side has a blue lighting, so going in with the blue lighting second, going in with the ivory lighting first, blue lighting second for the blue side, pink lighting first for the pink side, and then going back in to add what, especially at the lower areas, to add in some light from the opposite side. So for the ones higher up, we still have to consider how the eyes are going to affect them. They're going to be mostly in shadow, since the ears are going to cast a shadow regardless of the eyes because of the symbol. And here's the thing, it's detailed. There's quite a bit of detail, Except it's actually not that easy to see what said detail is, so I'm kind of just doing this for my own, for, I don't know, pride or sense of accomplishment, or like, this is how I saw it in my head, so I'm going with it. It will. I have a plan. Shush. It will work. Yes. So, yeah. I'm making the spheres look like spheres because they're also they're beads. So they're, and I'm thinking they're fairly reflective beads. So I'm making them the light from the symbol behind be a tad bit more effective on them than I guess the rest of the head or the skin. And last minute decision to make the center the center focal point of the headpiece to glow as well. So that's also going to affect how the beads look. Since also the ones further away have shadows falling on them as well. What I'm doing with the eyes is I did a color, like extra detailing with a darker and a lighter color, as well as what I need to keep in consider is the blue and the pink will reflect in both eyes and mix and like make an interesting effect in during the catch light. So those are going to be the actual catch light, and they actually didn't need to have that much glow effect added on. They actually had, I think I only added an overlay layer to make them pop a bit more, as well as change the line art around them to make them look like they're glowing. And then the sash around their center, just a basic shading lighting, kind of similar to what I did with Aries, like how that's moving in the wind, or pretty much most of them that has an element that's moving in the wind. Stars, slight, very, very subtle glow, plus some blur. And I'm adding a slight purple overlay, and playing around with the different layer options to kind of, because here's the thing, I used the purple to try and give it a slight tint, and then played around with different layer options, found one that I liked, and then went in and tried a few other things to see, like, okay, which works, which doesn't work, stuff like that. And then went back in, I still have a brightness and contrast layer, and also went in and tried to fix a few lit areas that were either too bright or too dark, as well as making sure that the trays still look pink and blue and don't lose too much of their tint because of the extra purple layer. All in all, I am very happy with how Libra turned out. They have a very ethereal look. Anyway, have a wonderful day, see you later, and goodbye.